Look, I'm going to have to get you your own show, aren't I? Because hello, beautiful friend. Hello, hello, hello. How are you today? Come and say hi. Come and wave at me. Come and just say hello. Let me know where you are. Let me know how you're doing today. Let me know what you're up to. So, yesterday we were talking about setting positive intentions and writing a to-don't list, things not to do. But that doesn't mean you can't set kind of goals, if you like. You can't have things that you want to do, things that you want to achieve. Now, I know at the minute, because of the uncertainty, it's like we feel like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, don't know what to do, don't know where I'm going. But we can still have goals and dreams. Now, most people's New Year's resolutions, they always tend to be along the lines of health, lifestyle, lose weight, stop smoking, get fitter, blah, 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 blah. And as I say, most people give up on their goals and aims by the end, before January is even finished. They're done with. They're like, nope, I failed, can't do it. So, hey, lovely, how you doing, my lovely? So I want to give you some ideas. These 7 days are about helping you set yourself up for success, because everything in nature is energy. And if we're not good, if we're not growing, we're dying. And we tend to kind of like, so many of us want our lives to change, but we don't seem to realize that we need to change. And I realized that if we don't have a kind of idea of what we want in life, it's like setting off on a journey with no map. It's like, where do you want to go? I don't know. And then we moan and complain because life doesn't work out the way we want it to. And it's like the universe, God, divine creation, whatever you want to call it, it follows our instructions. And if we just kind of like go along doing the same thing day in, day out, then tomorrow will simply be a repeat of today. And that's not really living, that's just surviving. So there are things that we can do to enable us to get to our goals. Now, I talked about the other day about the fact that as kids, we have big dreams, big ambitions, but we start to teach ourselves that we're not good enough. We're not good enough. We don't know enough. We don't live in the right place. We've not got the right education, all this kind of bullshit. But those that are most successful and happiest in life, they don't listen to those lies and bullshit. But what they do is they know what they want. They know what they want. Because a lot of us, we know what we don't want, but we say we don't know what we do want. And for one, if you're thinking of the law of attraction, the more you focus on what you don't want, the more of that you will get. And I think a lot of it is, it's not that people don't know what they want, they just don't believe they can get what they want. I think that's the thing. They don't believe they could get what they want. Because if I was to give you a magic wand and say, okay, describe your perfect life. You're very welcome, my lovely. I don't mean to, not welcome to make you cry, but I'm glad it meant something to you. That's always makes me like really surprised when that happens. And it's like, wow, how did I know that? But I love it as well. But yeah, a lot of us, I think if we could have absolutely anything we wanted, no limitations, we'd be able to easily describe our dream life. But most of us think we can't get it. And I know I speak to so many people who are in a career that they're now bored with. They've been doing it 20, 30 years and they're bored with it, but they're too scared to change. They worry about losing the security of income and all that kind of stuff. And that is a real shame. That is a real shame because, as I put in the post earlier, faith and fear both rely on us believing in something we cannot see. And yet we find it so much easier to feel fearful, don't we? We find it so much easier to believe that things will go wrong instead of believing that they may go right. And there's like, 50-50 chance either way. But so many of us just don't take the chance. We don't take that risk. And the first step is deciding what you want your life to look like. Yes, exactly. The feeling of not being worthy of good stuff. Exactly. And my soon-to-be ex-husband said to me once, if you are not worthy, then who is? And why are they more worthy than you? And that is such a good question because I had no answer for it. I had absolutely no answer. And yet we've been kind of brainwashed in a way. It's not our fault. We've been brainwashed in a way of believing in us and them, of believing in like certain classes and like also the bullshit belief that if we have more, then other people will have less, and all those kind of ideas that the lies basically we tell ourselves that stop us from reaching out for what it is we truly want. You know, I speak to people who they say they feel guilty for what they have because some people have less. And whilst that is true, that's totally true. For one, you feeling guilty doesn't help them. And two, when you get into the idea of soul contracts and things like the fact that everyone is on their own path, so that those who are maybe going through poverty or abuse or whatever, maybe they're going through those lessons. Oh, so I just got a message. I forgot to turn off do not disturb. Maybe they're going through those lessons for a reason. You know, I know all the things I've gone through: drug addiction, self-harm, depression. They were to teach me. I wouldn't learn if I hadn't gone through those. Awesome, exactly, yes. And we have to accept that our journey is our journey. And yes, other people will go through struggles and they'll go through heartbreak and all this, that, and the other. But we can't really interfere with that. And us having more, doing more, being more, doesn't take away from anyone else. And once you start to understand that, I mean, I always say the analogy is like walking along the street and there's a £10 note on the floor. There's no one else around, so you don't know who it belongs to. And you think, well, I can't pick it up because it's not mine. And whilst that's true, if you don't pick it up, the person behind you is going to. You know, if you don't go for the goals that you want, if you don't go for what you want, if you don't go for the career that you want, or the job that you want, or the relationship that you want, someone else will. Someone else will. So why shouldn't it be you? Why shouldn't you have the life that you desire, the life that you dream of? Why not? Why is someone else more worthy than you? And that's the question. When you start to feel unworthy, when you start to feel that you can't do it because of X, Y, Z, I always say to clients, if you think something like that, come up with the evidence for. So all the reasons for why you can't do something. And I'm sure you'll come up with a lot of evidence why you can't do this. And then ask yourself for the finding evidence against. So what evidence can you find that your belief is completely bullshit? So say, for example, just off the top of my head, you want to change career, but you tell yourself you're too old. So you might say, well, I'm too old to change career, blah, blah, blah. And then you write a list of reasons why you're too old, why you can't change your life. And then look for evidence against it. Look for other people who have done just that. Other people who have become successful later in life. Other people who have changed career. J.K. Rowling is one of the ones that always comes off the top of my head. She was 45 something, when she first wrote her Harry Potter books. And there's been a lot of people who have come to success later in life. So you'll find evidence for and against, but we always focus on the reasons why. So go looking for the reasons why not. But the first thing to do really is to ask yourself, what is it you actually want? Put aside the ego for the moment. Put aside that little voice that says you can't do it for X, Y, Z reasons. And really ask yourself, what do I really, really want? If I could have absolutely anything, and forget about, well, that's not likely and blah, blah, blah. Forget about, imagine you've got a magic wand and you can make anything happen. What exactly do you want? What do you want your life to look like? If you could describe what would be your absolute perfect life, what would it look like? I can describe mine. I have big visions. I want to buy around 10 acres of land and build a house so that I have all my fur babies together. And I have actually designed the house. Obviously, I'm not an architect, so someone have to work on it, but I can walk you through it. I can close my eyes and I can see my house in my mind because I've envisioned it so often. I can see what my days are like. I could tell you what my perfect life looks like. And as I said, the universe, God, Creator, cannot give you what you want if you don't know what it is you want, if you're not giving it a roadmap. And another reason we give up too quickly is because we expect things to happen overnight, or we think, it's too far from here to there. But life tends to happen not on our timeline. And also, we need to show that we are committed. We need to show up every single day. And when we spend too much time focusing on what we don't want, that's what we're giving energy to. That is what we're giving energy to. And the best way to kind of demonstrate this is to get you to close your eyes and focus on your right big toe. Just focus all your attention on your right big toe. And you will notice that your right big toe suddenly starts to feel warmer or tingly. It's like you weren't aware of it before. And now suddenly you can really feel your right big toe. And the reason is because you're focusing your awareness on it. So you are sending energy to it. So when we focus on what we don't want, we are giving it energy. But when we get clear about what we do want, we can give that energy. So you can have a goal. You can have a goal to like lose weight, quit smoking, cut out or cut down alcohol, get fitter, all those kind of things. But instead of focusing on what you're going to give up, focus on how will that change your life? How will that benefit your life? So just for the example of losing weight, because so many people want to do that, how will that benefit your life? Will you maybe feel more confident? And because of that confidence, would you maybe ask for a promotion or decide to change career? And because of that, would that then give you more freedom? Or would it give you the confidence to leave an unhealthy relationship and to feel better about yourself, to then maybe go on and find a healthy relationship? Would you perhaps have more energy? And then when having energy, you can do the things that you want to do, all the little hobbies and things that you don't have time for, don't have energy for now, and then you'll have a more fulfilling life. We tend to think very short term. We tend to just think of, I need to do this. I should lose weight. I should get fitter. I should cut out chocolate or whatever, instead of seeing the bigger picture. And when we think about what we're taking away, we're like children. We're still like children. If we say we can't have something, that's what we want more than anything. Whereas if we focus on what we're giving to ourselves, so if you have a particular goal that involves a lifestyle change, what are you giving to yourself? Or if you have a goal, a career goal, something like that, what would you be giving to yourself by working towards that goal? And we tend to also always often have an all or nothing mentality. Say, for example, that you love writing and you want to publish a best-selling book. Some people do write a book and sell it as bestseller, but not everyone does. But some people may go down the route of getting their work put in the local paper. Then that may go on to a bigger paper and then a magazine and lead on to other things. But some of us are so impatient. We want it all right now. And if we don't get it all right now, we say that we've failed. You know, there's so many people out there who have gifts, whether that's for music, whether that's for art, whether that's spiritual gifts, and we're too afraid to use them, or we believe the bullshit that work should be hard. You know, work should be something we do, and fun is something else. We've been led to believe that work shouldn't be enjoyable. You know, I struggled for ages being able to charge for my yoga because I loved it so much, because I too had bought into the bullshit belief that work should be hard, work shouldn't be enjoyable. You know, enjoying is something you do when you've got free time, and that is absolute bullshit. So think about, ping, think about whatever your goal or your desire is. How will that change? How will that benefit your life? And so instead of focusing on what you're giving up, focus on what you are gaining. And remember that small steps equal big results. So the first thing to do is to ask yourself, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And what does your perfect life look like? Now, for me, for example, I'm not that much of an outgoing person. This is why I turn off Do Not Disturb, and I forgot. I'm not what I would class a very sociable person. So I would want to be someone who walks into a room full of strangers and goes up to people with ease and makes new friends. That's the kind of person I want to be. I know that to achieve my dreams and goals, I need to be more disciplined and organized. I'm very much kind of like do things on the spur of the moment and then rush out the door and realize I've forgotten this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. So I've had to learn, and I'm still learning, to be more disciplined and organized, because I know that my life runs more smoothly when I'm disciplined and organized. And we tend to think of disciplined as like a kind of dirty word, but it's not. It's just knowing what you're going to do each day and getting shit done. That's it. But it's also I read a quote the other day. It's not what you achieve. It's not just what you achieve by reaching your goals. It's who you become as you achieve them. And whenever we do something we didn't think we could do, we grow in confidence. That's why I say set intentions rather than goals, because goals can often be like a win-lose. The weight loss thing is a perfect example. You may decide you want to lose half a stone, and you may do all the right things and you may feel fabulous, but because you've only lost 4 pounds, you feel like you've failed, when in actual fact you haven't failed at all. So intentions are kind of like they give you a win-win kind of thing. So there's no kind of like it must be this or that. It's like moving in the right direction, in a certain direction. And if you imagine people going to Mount Everest, for example, they have a plan, but they have stops along the way. They have to stop along the way. And when they get to a certain stop, they don't think, oh my God, I've got so far to go. They think, wow, I've got this far. But us humans are trained to think, oh God, it's too far to go. I'm useless. I haven't reached there in a day. I might as well give up. And that's just bullshit. So ask yourself, who do I need to be? Who do I need to become in order to reach my desired outcome? So organized, disciplined, more confident, more outrageous, more outgoing, more sociable, a risk taker, willing to make mistakes. And then ask yourself, who do you admire? Who do you admire? Who would you most like to trade lives with for 24 hours or maybe forever? But who do you admire? And what characteristics do you admire about them? Because there's one thing, the characteristics you admire about them and that you attribute to them are most likely within you. You just maybe haven't acknowledged them or you haven't nurtured them. And it works the other way. When we meet someone who we kind of like dislike, it's often because there's something about them either that reflects a part of us that we don't like, or there's something about them that we actually resent, admire. And I had this happen really strongly one day when I was reading an article about this girl, and she was saying things, and my first thought was, wow, she's really up herself, isn't she? And then I thought, okay, why have I had such a strong reaction? And it was because I admired her absolute confidence. I admired her absolute belief in herself, but I had a negative reaction. It was like, wow, she's really up herself. What a, cocky cow kind of thing. But it was because a part of me admired her total and utter belief in herself. So find someone who you admire and kind of study what characteristics, what behaviors, what habits do they embody? What are their daily routines? What are their daily behaviors? And literally kind of model yourself on them, and know that, and remind yourself as well that if they can do the thing, you can as well. And it's like I always say to people, you're not going to get fitter sat on your ass on the sofa. So many of us, we want this, that, and the other, but we don't get off our ass and take action. And when it comes to the law of attraction, we tend to think, and I was one of them, that if you just visualize it or just ask for it, it will drop in your lap. But that's not the way it works. It doesn't work that way. Believe me, I tried. I had a check for £10,000 I used to look at every day. It doesn't work. It only works if you take action. So once you've decided what you want, and you've decided what you want your life to look like, exactly what you want your life to look like, so you can give me a step-by-step itinerary of your day. And put aside that little ego that says that's not likely, you can't do it, all that. Put that aside for now. Remember, you need to give the universe an idea of where you want to go for it to enable things to happen. And if you start doubting, remember to look for evidence for and against. Look for evidence to back up your bullshit belief, and also look for evidence to completely annihilate it. And say the law of attraction is kind of like attracts like, but we attract things of similar energy, which is why they say that misery loves company, and so does positivity. It's like animal lovers is another perfect example. Animal lovers tend to gravitate towards each other because they're kind of vibrating on the same kind of level. You can go and talk to someone while you're walking the dog and you chat away, no problem. Whereas if you met that same person out in the supermarket, you wouldn't ever go and speak to them out of the blue. But we attract. Awesome. Meditation in the bath this morning. Wow, fantastic. Excellent. Yeah, working on the chakras will always influence the chakras. And we're going to do something tonight actually that you might find interesting as well. I'll tag you in it later. But with the law of attraction, what we want, we need to get ourselves in that energy. So I was doing this the other day. One of my coaches was trying to explain something to me and saying, you know, what are you excited about? And I couldn't get excited. And I started thinking, maybe life just doesn't excite me anymore. But then I started thinking of the things I could do when I've achieved my goal. And then I started getting excited. I was thinking about all the things I could do when I'm making shitloads of money and I can start to build my rehab and my rescue center. And then my energy shifted. So I was getting into the energy of the thing that I want. It's like, imagine being an actress or an actor and you're playing a role. So whatever it is you want to be, say you want to become a singer, for example, imagine as if it's already happened. Imagine you're already booked to play at Wembley Stadium, whatever. Just use that incredible imagination. And if you start to tell me you don't have an incredible imagination, I'll tell you bullshit, because you can come up with 101 reasons why you can't do X, Y, Z. And that's using your incredible imagination. So you can use your incredible imagination to visualize the thing you want to have happen. So you can visualize yourself up on a stage, seeing the crowds in front of you, singing and having fun. And yes, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but if you hold on to that energy, if you wake up every morning thinking, I'm closer to my goal, I'm closer to the thing I want, then you are going to be at that vibration that you are going to attract the thing you want. And it's not going to happen straight away, but you might meet someone, you might bump into someone out walking who knows someone who knows someone. You might see an advert for singers wanted, backing singers, and opportunities will start to open up to you. But you have to get into the energy of what it is you want and who you want to be. So say, for example, like me, I've got a real sweet tooth and I've eaten my body weight in chocolate over the last 2 weeks, but it does me no good, makes me feel like shit. So I want to envision myself as feeling full of energy and vitality and being able to easily walk past the chocolate and not buy a whole box of Thorntons to myself and I focus on who I want to be. Who I want to be this time next year. What do I want to be sat there this time next year going, wow, what a fucking year it's been. I've achieved this and I've achieved this and I'm closer to my goal of buying 10 acres and I'm blah, 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 blah. And you get into that energy of what it is you want and opportunities will start to arise. And always remember 2 things. 1, as I said a moment ago, faith and fear rely on you believing in something you cannot see. And 2, my brain's just gone completely blank. Oh dear. Oh, that was it. You only fail when you quit. Blonde moment. You only fail when you quit. It's as simple as that. People who have achieved success, you know, so many people we believe are overnight successes are years in the making. We just don't see the background to it. J.K. Rowling had a book, Harry Potter's books, rejected by however many authors before they were accepted. You know, you really only fail when you quit. It's as simple as that. You know, so decide what you want, decide who you want to be, and start to embody that. Spend time each day visualizing your perfect life. And say, I could take you on a walk through my dream house that isn't built yet, but I've seen it in my mind because I visualize it. And when I visualize it, and when I visualize my perfect life, I feel that excitement. I feel that energy. And it is that energy that is going to attract to me the opportunities to make it happen, because nothing's going to happen overnight. You might think the law of attraction is like sticking a picture of a yacht on your fridge and looking at it every day and saying, I'm getting a yacht, I'm getting a yacht, I'm getting a yacht. And imagine it dropping down into your garden. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I will be doing some more on the law of attraction on a different time. So if you have goals for this year, if you have visions for this year, and you should do really, because it's always good to have something to aim towards, no matter how big or small. Really visualize it. What do you want? How do you want your life to be? And who do you need to become to make it reality? Thank you, beautiful souls, and I shall see you all later. That's it, Lulu's gone. Have an amazing rest of the day, and remember that you are worthy of all you desire. The universal intelligence that created you put that desire into your heart. Just remember it that way.